Tomatoes. Yeah, they're the #1 plant that people grow as an edible. Now, if it comes to growing tomatoes, you can grow them in a pot or you can grow them in the garden. We're going to talk about in a pot right now, but a lot of the planting techniques applies to your garden. First off, if you're growing in a container, this is a large container. Tomato plants get to be quite big. I'd rather you go with a larger container with a lot of soil capacity. That's going to be good for the roots and also good for that tomato plant during the summer season. Now we have our tomato. One of my favorite varieties of tomatoes is what's called early girl bush. The reason why, medium-sized tomato that flowers early, that produces fruit early, and it's a bush tomato, so it won't get terribly big. Still a big plant. Now we take a look at this tomato plant, we can see there's a problem here. We have 2 in this pot. We don't need 2 tomatoes, we need 1. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do what's called thinning that plant. So we're gonna go over to here and we're gonna remove 1 tomato plant. That gives us an opportunity where we could actually use that tomato somewhere else, or what we could do is just throw it away. And for this purpose, I'm gonna put it over here so that I can use it later. Next up, we're gonna talk about this tomato right here. And with that, you need to remove the bottom leaves. They're just gonna come off ever so easily. So we're gonna remove those bottom leaves because we wanna expose that bottom stem. By exposing that stem, there's one reason why we're doing that. It's because not only are we planting the root of the tomato, you're gonna see, but we're also planting the stem of the tomato. So we're almost leaving just 1/3 of that tomato to the top. The reason why, that stem will shoot roots in. Now that we planted, the next thing that we need to do is to add a little bit of fertilizer. And this is a Miracle-Gro Shake and Feed fertilizer. You can see brand new there. We're just gonna pop that off. This is a calcium-enriched fertilizer that is specifically formulated for tomatoes that we put on once, and then that's all we're gonna need for the entire season. It's gonna feed for up to 3 months, just like that. Now, how are we gonna work it in? I'm gonna add some sweet basil. The reason why I'm gonna add basil is #1, basil and tomatoes just kind of go together. #2, basil will help repel aphids around your tomato. Over time, you're gonna find the basils may die out, may peter out as it gets shaded in, but by planting a few little basil plants around this tomato, it's a nice companion planting that'll make not only the basil pretty happy, but it'll also make that tomato really happy. The final stage, of course, is watering, putting it in full sun, and watching and waiting for it to grow. And there's nothing like the flavor of tomatoes on a nice, hot summer day. And that there is how to plant a tomato.